Hey, this is Scott Norton. You're listening to WNS Podcast.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast.
For all your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Or find us on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. Now here are your hosts, Daniel Herron,
Tyler Hebert.
And
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Hebert.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 165 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We're also on Twitter. Wait.
You're fucking up already.
I messed it up. I'm sorry. We're also on Stitcher, Player.fm, and Beyond Pod. Search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
We're on Twitter. The main site's at WN Source, and we are at WNS Podcast. And Daniel's at WNS_Daniel. Tyler's at Tyler_Hebert.
And we use it all the time.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to get back into Twitter for my personal account. Or try to.
Yeah. So welcome to the show. Got a lot to talk about. Going to cover NXT, Raw, some hot topics, Q&A. Also going to have an interview with special guest Scott Norton from the NWO. Flash, absolutely. So it's going to be really cool. Want to stick around for that. So welcome to the show. Have a lot to talk about. First, how you guys doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You doing all right?
Yeah.
Good. Doug, welcome back. Certainly missed you. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, glad to be back. Big ups to Ryan for stepping in for me last week while I took care of some
taking care of business every day. Taking care of business. It's Doug's way. So there you go. So yeah. So glad to have you back. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to dive into some feedback. First one's coming to us from Stitcher. I believe this is Alan. I'm not sure if I mispronounced it.
What was that?
Sorry. Huh? Oh. Stitcher. He's doing a yes to Stitcher. All right. Thanks, Tyler. Saying, greetings, gentlemen. Once again, another great episode. Y'all hit the nail on the head this week about the fans. It drives me insane when the crowd starts cheering stupid stuff for the sake of wanting to be a part of the show or in protest of Daniel Bryan not being the top guy. The key to showing you want Bryan on top is not to react at all to the matches he's not in. Go to the concession stand or bathroom during an Orton match or change the channel when Cena is on. That's his show. That's how you show the WWE who you want to see. A buddy of mine and I are going to a house show in Corpus Christi in March.
Nice.
We're driving from Shiner to Corpus on a Sunday to see this show because Daniel Bryan is on the bill. We aren't going to the closer show in Austin the night before because we don't want to see Cena. That's how you show Bryan instead of Orton or Cena. Or that's how you show you want Bryan instead of Orton or Cena. And if we are next to someone who starts chanting stupid stuff, I will slap them. Anyways, I'll get off my soapbox now. Keep up the great work, guys. So thank you very much for the comments.
Corpus Christi, fellow Texan. Then,
yeah,
nice.
Cool. Very cool. So drive safe on that one. Make sure you get your yes chants going as loud as you can. And let us know how that goes. It's gonna be...
Yeah, make sure you have someone else to bail you out when you get
when you get arrested for assault. Just make sure you can run faster than the guy who, whatever. So next feedback we have is from YouTube, from the King Trig, saying, I see what Daniel is saying about the fans, but I disagree. I can see why the fans are angry because it's not like we're getting worked or anything. It's been the same storyline with Bryan for months. We all get he's being held down by the company, but when he gets his payback, knowing the WWE, they will let Daniel Bryan die and then give him the belt. Also, about the merch thing, I saw a report that Bryan was number 4. Sorry, I don't remember who was above him as far as sales. So thank you for the comments. Thanks for doing some research on that for us. We certainly appreciate that.
I believe it's Cena, Punk, Orton, and then Bryan.
See, I don't see too many Orton shirts. So
yeah, but like the weird thing about when you go to the shop, they oddly rank the guy. Well, I guess the shop looks differently now, but for years they had the old way of the shop. They had like pictures of the guys to click on, and they always had them like. They didn't say here's the ranking of the most merch we sell, but they always had like the top 4 or 5 merch sellers. Yeah, because it would always be like it would be Cena, then it would be Punk, and then it would be Orton, and then for a while it was like Ziggler in there when he was moving some merch, and Bryan was always about the number 4 guy.
I never looked at it that way. I was always like, these are the main guys who are getting the focus right now.
Well, they didn't come out and be like, here is the top. They were just saying like
Right.
these are the guys we know people are looking for.
Our top
So-
sellers.
Right.
Okay. I mean, it's very possible.
I disagree. I think the crowd is getting worked to some degree.
Yeah. We'll have to see. You know, they're kind of teasing us a little bit as far as what they might be having planned leading into WrestleMania. But thank you for the feedback. Next one's coming to us from 123 MDF 456 from YouTube, saying the fans really pissed me off last week. I don't know.
That's a bunch of crazy numbers. in those.
Well, it could be 123 initials 456.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, it sounds more logical when you said it then, but whenever I heard it, it was like blah 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 blah.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Wah, 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 wah. So saying the fans really pissed me off this past week. There is no reason to chant Husky Harris other than to be trolls, especially during the Wyatt Reigns match. Maybe it wasn't the best match ever, but it's two young, promising guys in the main event. Isn't that what we want? I mean, it wasn't Cena versus Orton for the 50th time. So yeah, I can definitely see your point on that one. You're seeing two up and coming stars who are supposed to be, the future of the business. And the fans are just, chanting just to chant. Oh.
I mean, I'm glad some people are starting to come around on this because I've been saying this for like a full year since like WrestleMania. I was like, these people are assholes. What the fuck's their problem? And everyone's like, shut up, Doug, you're an asshole. And I'm like, okay, well, do what you want to do. And now people are like, hey, this really isn't cool.
Yeah.
Glad some people are coming around on it.
I think it's starting to wear on people. And they're like, okay, I get it. We can't all be the New Jersey crowd, but they're going to try regardless. And it's just one of those things. It distracts, and so it takes away from the feelings. But next one coming to us from Elizabeth on YouTube, saying, you guys really hate the crowd. The trolling chants always amuse me, but they don't tend to do it when something is interesting or when something interesting is happening. So start tearing creative a new one and stop ripping the crowd. On the other hand, I'm glad Hogan and Taker's return was not drowned out with chants of Daniel Bryan. I was worried that was going to happen. And I'm also not a CM Punk fan. I'm happy he's gone, actually. But I'd like to see Daniel Bryan get trolled with CM Punk chants just to see how he likes it. And lastly, Wyatt's Shield at Elimination Chamber was hands down the best six-man tag I've ever seen. So thank you very much, Elizabeth. We certainly appreciate that. And actually, the past couple of weeks,
I've seen plenty of like worthwhile stuff getting trolled by the crowd recently, to be honest. And the reason I don't shit on creative very much is that because I'm fairly happy with a lot of stuff that's going on. I like Brian a lot. I think he's in a showcase spot. I think the Shield are doing cool things. The Wyatts are doing cool things. Cesaro is doing cool things. I mean, that's all like stuff I'm high on and that I'm excited about. I don't feel the need to shit on. I don't feel the need to come in here and lie to you. If I don't like something, I'll say I don't like it. But I also don't feel the need to like make up a bunch of bullshit as to stuff not being cool just because like Dolph Ziggler isn't getting a push or something. So,
right?
Like,
and it goes back to what we were talking about. Like, if fans are saying, "Oh, Daniel Bryan's getting buried," like, no, he's not. He is still the main focal point. Like he's in a storyline with Triple H right now, which is
he's working with a top heel in the company.
Yeah, so it's pretty big right now for him. Things are going really well. Yeah, he might not be getting the booking that the majority of the audience wants, including myself. But, there's still possible time for him to turn that around by WrestleMania. But even if they don't, if he's in a one-on-one match against Triple H at WrestleMania, that's kind of saying something, saying, dude, you're big enough to go up against this guy's name, this name at WrestleMania. That's saying something.
I mean, it's a showcased match, and it's with the top, like it or not, Triple H is the top heel in the company right now, and Bryan's feuding with the top heel in the company. And, like, to backpedal just a tad to what King Trigg was saying about it's not like we're getting worked, they really are treating him badly. I was like, no, I mean, like, I don't want to come off like I'm like dissing all the fans because I get worked like as much as anybody else. Whenever it was started to happen, I was like, oh fuck this, why are they? But I come around and like I can like let it marinate and realize what's going on, and we are just getting worked. I mean, like, I do feel like we're in this like weird new if you look at like late last year, I was kind of talking about how they've changed how they're doing things like a lot, and I think we have to like change how we look at how we determine what we think is good or bad from them, because it's not the same old shit. They're doing things differently. And I do believe this is elaborate work. I do think this is like just a major push for Brian. They're giving him obstacles to overcome. It remains to be seen if they're going to give him the happy ending at WrestleMania. But even if they don't, they have him on the they have him like simmering on the burner. Like he's
be patient, your time will come.
Well, like, here's my thing. Like, some of the stuff I kind of like am grooving on now that I couldn't really wrap my mind around whenever I was saying that I feel like things are changing so much. I'm kind of having to take a step back and like take a different look about how they're approaching things. Is, well, it's, I don't know. Like, take Randy Orton for instance, right? Like, I mean, okay, who are the guys who have the most heat in the company? You've got Orton, you've got Batista, you've got Triple H. Yeah. All those dudes have heat. Brian has a lot of heat too, babyface heat. Heat is heat. But like, all those people have heat. No one else, honestly, no one has heat but those guys right now. And the reason they have heat is because it's like this weird like postmodern kayfabe era where like they've realized at a point where everybody's in on it. Once they step through the curtain, you're in on it. They can't work you in the ring anymore. But where they can work you is what happens behind that curtain. And we saw like kind of a foreshadowing of that where like Triple H and Stephanie and even Vince were like really playing into their the public perception of what they are. They're kind of almost like glowing and like, oh, people think that we only like the big guys and we bury like and maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I mean, to a certain extent it's true, but we don't.
They're addressing what people have talked about for so long that never got talked about.
But that's where they can work you now, because you don't know if a guy's really getting buried in the back or not.
Right.
We all hear the rumors, we all read the dirt sheets, but they can't work you in the ring anymore. So whenever a guy goes out there and he puts on a good, say, heel performance, because we're going to talk about guys who are getting heat. A guy comes out there and he's putting on a good heel performance. Well, you're either going to cheer ironically because you're a heel fan who wants to cheer heels, or you're going to boo politely, like I tend to do, to
he's the bad guy, the bad guys get booed.
Right. But it's not a visceral response. You're not getting real heat. But these guys are getting real heat because they're working you in this new post-modern kayfabe way. It's like people aren't booing Orton because he's an effective heel. People are booing Orton because they believe he doesn't deserve the spot that he's in.
Right.
And they're toying with your expectations right now. I truly believe
that's why he gets those cheap wins, and that's why he's...
Well, not only that, but that's why he's the champ, right? He's the perfect fool. And even Triple H, like, why does Triple H have so much heat? Why is he so hateable? Because whenever he goes out there and he's like, he does his heel shtick, but he does it with an air about him where people are like, no, motherfucker, I know you're really like that. I know you're really like that. So they're like playing with your like that's how they can work you. They can't work you in the ring anymore.
Yeah.
This is where they can work you. So I do think, and it remains to be seen. Maybe they don't give him the payoff, right? But I do think it's an elaborate work. Like, and even if I feel like it may have been the best for. I mean, okay, you're always going to be able to argue like window of opportunity. Did they wait too long with Brian? Remains to be seen, and it's a valid argument.
It is.
But what did they have to gain from them putting the belt on Brian when everybody was hot for him? They've got more to gain from. Sorry, is it cool?
Yeah, you're good.
No, I mean they've got more to gain from, like if they put the belt on him, then people are just gonna like, okay, he's a champ. That's what we wanted. So when he goes out to the ring, we're gonna cheer politely for his good matches, and we're gonna cheer him because he's a babyface, or we're gonna boo him because we don't like him.
Right.
But it's not a visceral response. You're past all the like. We helped this guy get to where he is. Like he was getting done wrong, and we rallied around him, and we're partially responsible for this guy in his spot now. Like all that goes away. You don't have that like real visceral. that's why he's such a legit babyface. Like Cena's not a legit. I mean, Cena is a babyface, but he doesn't get that legit babyface heat.
Right.
Like, people are really behind Bryan because they really feel they have a stake in if he succeeds or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you just put the belt on him, you're like, okay, good for Bryan. Then you're gonna politely cheer his good matches, or you're gonna boo him if he's a heel politely, or whatever. You're just gonna you're gonna run through the the normal responses of a wrestling match, but they can't work you and get that visceral heat anymore. And this is like the only way and I feel like they're playing with people's expectations. They're playing with your emotions here. And like, I feel that's like, I think it's real. I think they really are stringing you along for Bryan. I mean,
Yeah.
it remains to be seen. Of course, I'm not saying this is what's happening and you're dumb if you're falling for it, because I bit first too. And still it remains to be seen if it's played off. But I think there's a lot of logic to that. If you think about it, like, they can't work you in the ring anymore. Everybody's in on it. But they can play with their expectations of what happens behind the curtain. I think they're really like toying with that these days, and that's why everyone hates Batista, everyone hates Orton, because they think those guys are in those spots, and that's why they're in the spots, possibly because they can elicit that kind of response from you. I mean,
Yeah.
So that changed our game.
does that make any sense or not? Just
No,
ramble
it
crazy.
totally makes
It does.
sense, because you have to see how the payoff comes for WrestleMania if they actually give Bryan the chance.
Yeah, I mean, like,
So,
I don't know. I just feel like we're in like this weird like postmodern like kayfabe era. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's the new way of doing things. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But thank you for the feedback. Next bit of feedback that we have is from 6-Star Criminal saying, I want to point out everything stupid that I say is most likely 100% me joking around. That's going back to what Tyler questioning him if he was joking or not, saying and about the WWE and the direction it's going, regardless what people say or who's champion, fans are going to watch. The way that they're holding back Daniel Bryan is probably the best thing that they can do with him. I feel like when he eventually does have a run with the title, it'll be that much sweeter. I also want to rant about Dolph Ziggler. I can't stand him. Can't stand his character, and he's definitely not one of the best wrestlers at all. He thinks he's so good, and he's so arrogant. It just pisses me off that people think he's so good when he does the same old shit week after week. Watching one of his matches is just unbearable. I would start bear puns again, but I'm not witty enough for it. Tyler is still a badass.
Thank you.
And can kill any bitch with his bare hands.
Oh, thank you.
How many bitches you been killing there?
A lot.
AJ?
You don't know how
A
many,
lot.
man.
Oh, well, that kind of worries me. But
Was that a joke? Tyler's not a badass.
I'm a badass.
maybe a bad ass.
Maybe his ass is going bad. But
Has your ass gone bad?
I gotta replace my ass.
No, it's gotta hold it in and
Hold it in and get it up.
get it
What?
up. Yeah.
What's going on? What?
Next bit of feedback we have is AKM. I don't know if I should.
Occam?
I believe it's Occam.
Occam?
I'm not sure.
We're
sorry if we.
we're trying. But saying great show as always, guys. I agree with you about the trolling fans. I thought that the fans at the Raw after WrestleMania last year were amazing, but now with every crowd doing it, it's becoming annoying. I still don't have a problem with that WrestleMania crowd because it seemed more organic, and the idiots doing it now are starving for attention. I think WWE creative is constantly wetting the bed, trying to throw things together in order to draw attention away from Daniel Bryan, not getting the big push. I understand the Hogan news got leaked by TMZ, but they still shouldn't have thrown it out there and announced it on the app. I have no problems with the end of Elimination Chamber, which makes no sense for Bryan to win in that situation, but they need to do something about the main event at Mania. It seems they haven't taken into account this Mania will be as historic as the first Mania, with the first major event on the network will be the precursor as to what to expect from pay-per-views in the future. And I'm glad that you brought up the WWE Network because they are trying to test it out with their live events like NXT ArRIVAL and Superstars or Main Event. Main
event. Sorry.
They're trying to throw in some of these live events that you can catch. So they're trying to test the network because they've been having some issues every once in a while.
Yeah, they don't want to shit the bed on WrestleMania.
Yeah. So they don't want to have people cancel out on their subscriptions.
Well, they got him for 6 months anyway, but
that's true.
But they may not get him back if they shit the bed on WrestleMania.
Right. So
It's never good to shit the bed.
No, it's not. Especially when your ass is bad. So, but thank you very much for the feedback. We do appreciate it.
I don't care what they say.
We
I'm
tried
still
to zoom,
badass. Okay?
zoom through it since got a little bit more feedback from.
Can't
for
censor
this
me. I'm
week.
kind of a badass.
Yeah, whatever. You can be easily censored.
Kill
but
you.
Doug, you weren't here last week where we discussed the WWE Network.
I was not.
Did you get it? Did you sign up for it? And if so, what were your thoughts on it?
I do not have the network as of yet,
Okay.
but it is not because of technical issues, or it is not because of them failing to deliver all the content promised on launch.
Mm-hmm.
None of that shit is the reason I don't have it. I've just honestly been so busy this past week that I literally just haven't had the time to sit down and download the whatever and like sign up and whatever. And to be honest, I'm kind of in the middle of a lot of shit right now, and I'll be pretty busy for at least a couple more weeks. And honestly, I know myself, and I'm scared to get into that kind of a time suck right now with what I got going. I can see myself just sitting down and rotting in front of the TV for many hours.
You get a call from your boss. Where are you? You'd be like, I'm at home. Why? What's up? You'd be like, dude, you've been absent the last 3 days.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I thought time had slowed down, and
I'm a real obsessive guy, and like I could see myself like this will be a major time suck.
I have to
for
watch
me.
all the Starcades.
Yeah, I mean, I just it's just so. I mean, I fully intended to get it upon launch, and it just so happened that I had a lot of shit hit me at once, and I just haven't had the time. And now that I still kind of see myself not having this, I mean, not having the time for a few more weeks, I'm probably just gonna. I think I got like 2 or 3 more weeks till I get on vacation, and
extended the free trial.
Oh, good.
Well, to me, like I expected technical difficulties.
Right.
I expected them to not have all the content they said they were going to have. That's not a problem for me.
And that's with anything, really.
Right,
You have to expect those glitches and problems for the first.
Well, you know how they said from the first day, that first Monday, it's like get your 7-week trial.
Yeah.
And then, well, okay, from what I took, I thought it was just only that first week, but I could be wrong. I thought that's how I took it. I could be wrong.
But you have now until this first week is over to sign up for your free week.
Hey, I guess I got a surprise text from Daniel to say, "Hey, I signed up."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I signed up in time for the NXT ArRIVAL.
I actually Tyler's dad retired, and we had like a retiree party like dinner, and the most I fucked with the network is Tyler was showing me the through the app on his phone. He was showing me all the content. I spent about 5 minutes just like flipping through stuff, and it looked cool. I'm definitely not. I definitely don't have it for the reasons everyone else doesn't have it or is mad about it. I'm not. I wouldn't be mad for any of those reasons, and that's not why I don't have it.
Yeah.
The only few difficulties I've had was I was trying to watch episode of NXT and it kept on buffering a lot. That was through my PS3. I know my phone was it smoothly. It worked smoothly. Like for the NXT, it would play a little bit, load, play, load, and it kept on doing it over and over. So I got a little agitated. Then I just got out of that program.
So you guys, I mean, I listened to the show last week, and you guys didn't get too heavy into it.
Yeah.
But,
well, that's because at the time
we hadn't
gotten it.
Ryan
Ryan had.
Right.
But
so I mean, you guys give me some first impressions, or like the time you spent with it, your impressions.
The first thing I watched was the ArRIVAL, which was, or I didn't watch all of it. I watched because people kept on interrupting me. I watched half of it, and it seemed all right. It didn't, nothing crapped on me because I know later on, it crapped down people, right?
I think the stream kind of went down.
No, I enjoyed it though, and I looked around and I saw their library for a little while. But then, I watched a few other things, and I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. I used my laptop to check out the network. I've had minimal problems with it. Just a buffer here or there, or the picture will freeze, and a quick refresh of that, and it's working fine. Everyone was complaining during NXT ArRIVAL that the picture was going out and nothing was working. And
was there a lot of people complaining for the 360, huh?
Yeah, the 360.
They just got that fixed
Yeah.
the other day.
Yeah, so earlier this week, they got that taken care of.
Yeah, I have a 360 button downloaded for it. I did it for PS3 on my phone. So,
but
as far as content goes, what are you happy with what they have?
I don't know.
They're gonna build.
Well,
obviously.
it's different for him though, because he has a lot of the.
Yeah, and it's one of those weird things where it's like there are certain matches I'd like to see, but I would have no idea where to start looking. And you can search for certain people in the search bar, but not all the names will pop up.
Right.
And so you'd have to do it by who they face, like your Dean Malenkos, your Rey Mysterios, Chris Jericho, and stuff like that, and then kind of work your way from there. But the weird thing for me is that I'll start a pay-per-view, and they have like little bookmarks.
I've read about this.
Where it's like the
tells you the finish,
the start of the match, and then the last few, where they get ready to hit their finisher, and then they hit the finisher, and then it goes to the next. You can go to the next match. So my problem is I'll do that, and then I'll go straight to the finish. Like the bell will ring, I'll watch like 2 or 3 seconds of it, and then I go straight to the finish. And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So that's weird on my part, I guess, but it's.
Yeah, I heard they don't have like resume, like you have to start over again, like how Netflix, like if you stop watching, they don't resume like there. You have to go back to the beginning, but you can fast forward to your
okay. That's you touch of a button and you're right back where you started.
Right.
But I don't have any problems with it.
What have you watched?
Value proposition, $10 a month. Is it worth it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because you're going to be getting, not only are you getting all the content that you want, that they have to offer. You can go back and check any of the old matches. They've got the Stone Cold Steve Austin documentary. They're going to be doing the Rock one, or they already have. You get the pre-show, post-shows for Raw and SmackDown.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah, you're getting all the pay-per-views. You get NXT. You get ECW. Old
Future
Oh.
school,
content.
Legends of Wrestling.
I mean, where I think the value proposition is not just the pay-per-views, because that remains to be seen if it's a value anymore, because they may change how they run pay-per-views. So we don't know. That's up in the air. But I think I'm a guy with a DVD VHS collection. I know you're a guy with a DVD VHS collection. So a lot of those pay-per-views we may already have.
Right.
But I think the value's in the TV.
Absolutely. The pay-per-view, the live pay-per-views are going to pay for itself, instantly.
Little differences between your DVDs and that, and you get to see the stuff as it was original. The DVDs censor certain things, right?
Well, even on here, due to licensing and stuff like that, some of the WCW matches, they use certain theme songs and stuff like that they can't.
Even on the network?
Yeah.
Really?
Because
I haven't seen the WCW pay-per-views.
Because like Hulk Hogan used to come out to Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
And they don't do that.
I've heard a lot of the ECW TV.
Yeah.
Because they use real songs.
Yeah,
and,
Enter Sandman and
Gotcha.
have you came across anything like crazy that has been unedited? Because like I know everyone's like popping for the the infamous
That's the
Booker T
only thing- that's the
promo.
only
Everyone's
thing,
like they didn't edit it out or whatever.
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
I haven't been able to like just sit down. I might do that tomorrow, and just kind of go through it.
This is not censored or whatever, but I saw something I haven't seen in a while, and I know that we mentioned it a while, but make fun of me is I watched Great American Bash. I don't have the DVD, so when Billy Gunn came out,
WCW they're all VHS.
the WWE Great American Bash.
Oh, okay.
I know this is not censored.
I was
but,
presuming.
Sorry.
No, my bad.
but to see Billy Gunn, Mr. Ass on theme song, I haven't saw that in a long time. And just listening to the lyrics, I was like, he's like he likes to kick him. I think they said they likes to stick him.
Likes to do a lot of things. With butts.
Yeah,
So
he's got a butt fetish.
But yeah,
Bad
man.
Badass Billy Gunn.
Broken ass.
Yeah, broken ass.
Tyler Haber.
badass.
Expired ass.
Badasses.
But yeah, I know. Like I fully intend to get it as soon as I can, and all the reason everyone else is bitching is not the reason that I don't have it.
Right.
There's shows that they put they mention certain things to talk about stuff like the countdown. They had their first episode of the top 10 catchphrases, which is it's what they put together. I don't think it's what the fans. No, the fans did vote. Yeah, they did say that, but it's just
They voted, but
they voted.
does
Like,
it
you know,
count
who was
towards
on there?
it?
Like Ric Flair, Daniel Bryan, The Rock, Stone Cold. It's pretty neat to like have people talk about and stuff, like the catchphrases and like, oh, you love this. They did that. You know, go through the history. It's pretty neat to see the superstars' perspectives about it. I liked watching that.
So it's definitely worth the
Legends
the
House is already on
$10.
it?
No, not yet.
I was about to say I didn't see Legends House.
No, they
'Cause I
do
would've
have
watched
some
it.
Legends.
I don't
of the
think
Round
it's coming
Table.
until like I think it's like May or something.
But yeah, so it's not too bad. Tyler and I are sharing the account, so
Because they said they report there's 2 people could be on the count. At the same
and
time.
Doug, if you want in on it, then
It's really not a money.
no, it's not even that. I'm just saying,
Let's push for
'cause
3.
There's only certain times where we'll both be watching at the exact same time. So
I mean, honestly, like, I literally don't have the time. I haven't watched episode 1. You let me borrow the first season of Game of Thrones. I haven't watched a single. How long ago did you let me that?
Elimination Chamber,
I haven't
Game
watched
of
a
Thrones.
single
Oh, yeah.
episode of it.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
weeks. I haven't found time.
Well,
to
you've
watch
been
it.
busy, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't worry about it. But once you get started,
Yeah,
You'll have time. You'll have time when you're 2 weeks off. The beginning of your 2 weeks.
yeah.
yeah. I mean, like,
We'll have a few days. You have
Yeah.
a few days to yourself before Mania.
And we can have that WWE trivia game or something. We
Oh, yeah, we
play.
can play
Get
that.
together and do that. So that'd be fun. But yeah, speaking of the network, we signed up just in time to catch NXT ArRIVAL. And it was funny because a lot of people were complaining about how long it was taking them to get signed up and all that, on Monday and Tuesday. And then here comes Thursday rolling around, and it takes me 5 minutes tops to get signed up and get the network going. So it was really cool. NXT ArRIVAL delivered. If you have the network, go back and watch this. If you have not seen it, go and watch it.
so it's on demand already.
Yes.
How long before things go on demand?
Normally it's 30 days, but because of the network issues that they were having, they released it instantly. They were like, hey, we've been getting a lot of complaints saying, this and that's been going wrong during the pay-per-view, or not even pay-per-view, but during the show. We apologize. We'll have it on demand the very next day, and sure enough, it was. And it's been cycling through the network programming because
the live stuff.
yeah, because like once it starts, you're watching the live stuff
Right.
that they're showing, which could be old school wrestling. It could be ECW if it's like at 2 a.m. or something like that. They have their schedule of stuff, and I've seen NXT pop up a few times on there for people to go back and check out. But yeah, NXT ArRIVAL, my God, these guys put on one hell of a show. The first matchup was Cesaro going up against Sami Zayn, and man,
Final match.
this one was wrestling at its purest. Just a overall astounding matchup. It's definitely one of those match of the year contenders. Just nothing but praise for this matchup. Very similar to their 2 out of 3 falls matchup. Just great stuff. Another match you can talk about was the Paige versus Emma match for the NXT Divas Championship. This was 2 women who could wrestle, and they went out and wrestled. They didn't put on a little 5-minute, let's run the ropes and finish with a roll up. No, they went out there and tore the place down. Another great matchup was.
Is it bad that I feel bad for the ladies in NXT because I feel like they're gonna come up to the roster and really have nothing for them?
Yeah, I really hope that whenever these ladies come up, that they get put in matches and they wrestle.
I mean, Emma had that. What? She's had 2 matches.
She's had this little short feud with Summer Rae, but I hope that this is sort of a new generation for women's wrestling.
Even Summer Rae is pretty good.
Yeah. So the last matchup of ArRIVAL was Adrian Neville going up against Bo Dallas in a ladder match, and this was a great matchup to check out. Just really good stuff, really good work. You could tell that the younger talent is hungry. They're ready to put a show on for the world. So if you have the network, or if you don't have the network, get the network. Check that event out, NXT ArRIVAL. Really good stuff. So yeah, just really good. Certainly enjoyed it. But it is time to go into Raw, getting ever closer to WrestleMania. We're now inside a month away from our trip to New Orleans.
Oh, I'll be here before you know it.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be all kinds of fun. And we kick things off in Chicago, fans chanting very loudly for CM Punk. And they get his music, but they don't get him. Paul Heyman coming out and delivering a promo, doing exactly what he needed to do. He got the fans in the palm of his hands, and then he turned it right around on them.
You know, I messaged Daniel, and I was like, they had to, like, bring him back because they're mentioning him. But, like, if you think about it, because we don't know what's going to happen, really.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, maybe with the new style of how they're, like, throwing things out there and like trying to get certain things to fans and how like wrestling has changed. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Maybe he's not coming back. They're just trying to mess with the fans for all them chanting CM Punk all the time. Plus they were in Chicago, so I mean, who knows, really? So
only the people backstage know. But yeah, so he delivered just an excellent promo.
It was an Undertaker.
Yeah, and he did a great segue with turning it into Brock Lesnar and the Undertaker. Saying, you know, it was because he lost, CM Punk lost to Undertaker at WrestleMania, and so Paul Heyman wants revenge, and he wants to see the streak conquered, which brings out Brock Lesnar, who comes out and says he wants to beat the Undertaker, and then Mark Henry comes out and wants to fight him, and Brock Lesnar just destroys him, throwing TVs that ends up throwing the TV that goes into the stands and hits a lady and her child, just crazy madness.
Is that legit? Because it wasn't shown. People are saying that, but I didn't see anyone get hit with it. I love the fact that Brock's the only guy who gets to recklessly throw them around, and everyone else has to set them down very carefully.
Yeah.
You know?
Those poor TVs, man. They've been around for like 20 years, and they're like indestructible. Yeah. Well, watching it live, you could see the fans react, and you heard a collective
right,
you know, so I was waiting for something to sort of pan over, but maybe they were told, no, don't show that, we might have a lawsuit on our hands. But but yeah, the reports were that he launched that TV so far it went over the ring and into the stands and struck somebody. So if that's the case, certainly hope that the people, you know, aren't too badly injured. But
something like that never happens to me.
You want to be hit by a TV?
Well, I mean, like I think I'd take the TV shot to like try to weasel in on some shit out of it. You know what I mean? Like
I want free Daniel Bryan merch for life. Okay, that's it.
You didn't get hit with TV, but you got punked out by Mark Henry. So.
Keep your hands to yourself.
True story.
So yeah, just excellent mic work from Paul Heyman. Just did a really good job. I'm glad that Mark Henry did his job. He proved that, you know, he's a big man and Brock Lesnar can destroy him. It's sad to see it happen to him, but, you know, someone's got to go out there and have it happen. But the next matchup, we got to see the Usos going up against the New Age Outlaws for the Tag Team Championship. A lot of people, I think, were expecting this to happen at WrestleMania. But they kind of shocked us with this one, giving the Usos the win and to become the new tag team champions. I think this might have been a way for the WWE to get the crowd to focus on something else other than CM Punk, because for the majority of the night they were focused on CM Punk. They had CM Punk chants throughout the entire night, but Chicago is such a great crowd that they're willing.
Whoa. Yo, Daniel, I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
But Beyonce is the best crowd. Now, I mean, they were a pretty good crowd, but I have my issues with this crowd, and there are at least they shit on a couple of things that for absolutely no reason, and they undercut a lot of like cool stuff that they had no business undercutting. Mm-hmm. So I would not call this a great crowd.
They booed a lot of people, but they didn't chant random stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean they undercut the Usos even just a little bit, but still they undercut Bryan even just a little bit, but still they shat on stuff I think they had any right to shit on. And they brought a lot of energy, but honestly, I think more credit goes to WWE for realizing what they were going to deal with, having a game plan going in, focusing that energy the best way they could. I don't know if the intention was to get them to burn themselves out by playing his music from jump and having Heyman come out.
Mm-hmm.
And but nobody in that company could have handled the promo the way that Heyman did.
Yeah.
It was masterful. It was masterful.
Yeah.
And you said that he transitioned. I thought it was a clunky transition, but I thought it's all they could have done. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he handled the Punk shit masterfully, but he clunkily like transitioned into the Brock. It didn't really make sense how he got from Punk to Brock. You know what I mean? For me. But I felt it was the best he could have done, and nobody else stood a snowball's chance in hell of handling it the way he handled it.
Yeah.
But I think that was their game plan, and then not only like realizing what they were up against and having a game plan, but I thought they also chose some stuff like the Cesaro stuff, like this title change. That was all in a focus on giving the crowd something to be happy about.
Yeah.
And even though the crowd would get into the Usos, they didn't start off into the Usos, and in the middle of the match, they definitely lost it and like started going on about their other stuff. And I feel like that undercuts a hardworking tag team who's been busting their asses, deserve an honest shot, and they turned around and they were there for them in the end. But like, there were definitely a handful of times. Again, the energy from the crowd helped the show in a lot of ways, but there were a handful of times that the crowd had its head up its own ass, like way too much, playing the "look how rebellious we are" card, and that shit just doesn't sit well with me.
And I'm glad that it didn't
derail the show, but
they were trying to we're gonna make this giant movement, hijack Raw. We're gonna buy tickets and buy the merch, and then we're gonna boo and chant CM Punk and
I'm glad you said that, and I've said it 100 times myself. And like, look, guys, it's a binary thing. You support the product or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
If you go out, if you buy a ticket to Raw, buy some merch while you're there, flip the channel on when it's on TV, buy the network, order whatever. You're supporting the company, so it doesn't matter what the fuck you say after they have your money. It's like a heel react. It's like you booing the heels. They want it doesn't. It's like Cena. It doesn't matter if you boo or cheer him. If you're fucking talking about him, you're fucking talking about him, and that's all that matters.
Yep. And what they're saying is, hey, let's put Cena out there because he gets a good reaction from the kids and the ladies. Hey, let's put Cena out there because he gets a good reaction from the people who hate bad guys. Let's just put him out there because he's still getting a reaction.
It's not a protest. It's a binary thing. It's a 1 or a 0. You give them money, and so it doesn't matter what you say, or you don't give them money. That's the only option.
Yeah. So, what can you do? And unless you own a Nelson box, to show where the ratings
and for
go.
how much longer does that matter now?
Right.
I mean, I guess for Raw and SmackDown, we're still on cable, but
I don't know. The WWE is still kind of up in the air as far as where they're going to go.
Right.
Who knows? We'll have to see. But yeah. So the Usos do end up defeating the New Age Outlaws, becoming the new tag team champions, and that brings us into the next match. Did I cut you off, Tyler?
I know that plays into the what's it called? What was it? Main event or was it Superstars?
Main event.
That plays
live
into the live one. But do you feel like it was weird to give them the belts there, or the Usos should have taken it from them at WrestleMania?
I think it was crowd control.
Yeah,
I thought they were
give them a happy moment.
It was part of their game plan for dealing with the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people were talking. Oh well, since they didn't win an Elimination Chamber, they're probably going to have them win at WrestleMania.
I hate to keep on talking about the crowd, as I don't want it to be the focus of voice, but whatever. But
I don't either. I hate it too, and I hate to feel like I'm telling someone you can't say what you feel, but you got to be smarter about how you say what you feel.
Right.
And I just hope that this is not the new thing wherever they go.
Sadly, it is.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of copycat crowds.
Yep. And until CM Punk fades out of the memory and people focus on something else,
that's gonna be a while.
It will be a while. We're gonna hear nothing but CM Punk chants, and
like I said, I hate to keep on bringing it up because I know that's what we brought up a lot these past episodes, and it's
well, I mean, how much? I thought it was a pretty good Raw. I mean,
Raw.
Yeah. And how much better could you have been like? Wouldn't you have been like, oh, that was a really hot Usos match if they hadn't kind of shitted on in the middle before they came back around, or like that was a pretty good segment with Brian and Triple H if they hadn't fucking kind of shit on it.
Yeah, Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, fuck.
Whatevs. But Raw itself was very good. They stepped up their game on this one. But the next matchup, we got to see Big E going up against Cesaro, Battle of the Name Changers. This one ended after interference by Swagger, causing the rift between the Real Americans. Cesaro and Swagger going, "Hey man, that's the second time now you've done that. What's the deal? What's going on?"
This is really bad. I mean, like,
yeah.
I mean, I have to believe that Jack Swagger understands that he can't just like go walk into the ring and start beating on the other dude,
Yeah.
Like even dastardly
But he
heels.
got pushed by Big E.
Yeah, but he has to know that he's fucking his partner over, right?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a Shield Wyatt situation. This is I understand that if I go in that ring, I mean, it would be different if like it was like a Zeb distracting him and he's fucking trying to get some shots in and help his boy out. But this is like blatant, just like everyone's watching me, the ref's watching me, Cesaro's watching me.
Hey ref, check this out.
Right. I mean, like this could be done much better. This is a bad. I mean, like they're breaking up a lot of tag teams, but this is like the team it feels like they should break up.
Yeah.
But they're doing it like the worst. I don't know. Like. And, like, another thing is, did y'all see Cesaro's new shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got, like, the ironic, like, eagle and the flag, and it says Real American. That leads me to believe that he's still going to be with Zeb. I don't see how you can turn Zeb babyface with him.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a big It's so much easier to be a heel than it is to be a babyface.
Mm-hmm.
And Cesaro's pulling off, like, Cesaro's your big babyface out of that team. And Swagger's your heel, and Swagger needs Coulter to talk for him to be a heel.
Unless they kind of blur it, and they're both are like they don't really like they're both kind of heels, and they both just fight each other or whatever.
Well,
or
I think
like Cesaro's still heel, but he does babyface stuff.
I guess it's possible, but I mean, like tradition says one of these guys is going to be babyface coming out of this, and you would think it would have to be Cesaro, and you would think it would have to be without Zeb, because that's your big money spot. They have the match at Mania. Finally Zeb gets the big swing. That's your big money spot at Mania. Whatever. That's just weird. Like you would think that like what you would think should happen is the opposite of what's
unless they're working to have Zeb on Cesaro's side only to try and turn on him,
right?
And that's what causes the big swing, but. The "We the People" chant is getting over with the crowd. So, you could have Zeb come out and say, Jack Swagger is a real American, but Cesaro is putting forth the effort to be the real American. And he could try and put Cesaro over as this great guy. And now, if you are a supporter of Cesaro, place your hand over the heart, and chant, "We the People," something like that. So, I mean, should it happen? Probably not. But could I see it happening that way? Yeah, sure.
I mean, nothing has officially happened yet, but all the signs point to they're gonna do it the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like Cesaro's new shirt, the way they have Swagger acting, it all points to we're doing it ass backwards. But I mean, I guess we'll wait and see, right?
Yeah. Well,
I'm not gonna shit on it yet because it hasn't happened. But the way that they've initiated the breakup, it has been really bad. So I will shit on that.
Yeah.
Swagger, you can't. No one buys it. We'll just fucking run in the ring.
What did I do? What did I do wrong?
Come on, dude. Come on.
What? Come on, ref. Why'd you disqualify him? So, yeah. Tensions brewing between Cesaro and Swagger. Next matchup, we get to see Wyatt's going up against the Shield. 3-on-3 matchup. Chaos ensues in this matchup. It was a good matchup. Wasn't as great as the Elimination Chamber match, but it was still very good.
I would argue that it was as good as Elimination Chamber in a different way.
Yeah, I was gonna say it had a definite different feel to it.
But I liked it about as much.
Yeah, I loved the breakdown at the end. But the main story of it all coming when Seth Rollins walks out on Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns saying, "I can't be the glue to hold this team together. You two figure it out." And standing at the top of the ramp, watching the Shield face the Wyatt family.
I thought it was a nice touch to go with the. Not that this is like the final straw. There's more story to be told here, but I thought it was a nice touch to go with the unexpected guy.
Yeah.
Because they've teased and flat out shown a lot of tension between Ambrose and Reigns, and this probably is just them playing into like them going to do a 3-way at Mania,
Right.
Which is fine. I'm good with that. Honestly, I think there's I guess technically there's not much more for them to do as a unit, but I kind of like feel like they are such hit their stride. I'd hate to see them break up at this point. You know what I mean?
They've been so dominant over the course of their run. You kind of don't want to see it end, especially since now they're starting to get over with the crowd a little bit. They're not.
They did it so well.
The Wyatts are the heel faction, where the Shield has now become the face faction. So you kind of want to see a little bit more from them, but I mean, they've
been giving us stuff this past Raws.
It's been really well done. It's probably the best thing they've done in a long time.
Yeah.
As far as booking wise and storytelling wise, I do take issue with the way they paint Ambrose though, because I wasn't on the show last week, but I did listen back, and something I was like screaming in my earbuds, like I was at work listening to you guys, but I was trying to because I wanted to like throw my 2 cents in that obviously couldn't happen, but I take issue with the way they're portraying Ambrose as like the story they're trying to tell when like Ambrose like comes in, like it'll be like a big chaotic thing, and like his buddies will be like out, like say Rollins starts the match, Rollins is fighting all 3 Wyatt guys while Reigns and Ambrose were standing on the apron, and then when Ambrose, because they were kind of separated, but when they kind of came in on him, contracted in on where there was 2 guys, when Ambrose jumps in the ring to help his buddy out, that's what he should be doing. Reigns shouldn't be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's outgunned. He's helping his fucking like hey, that's awesome what he does.
It is.
The way he looks, so that's how fights in the real world aren't pretty. You know what I mean? And as much as the beauty of moves matter in pro wrestling, it's really cool that he's like the weird, like looks like a real fight guy, because real fights are ugly. They don't look fucking cool, right? You've seen real fights.
You watch a street fight, it's not stylized at all. Like it's just, I'm gonna throw you to the ground and I'm gonna try and pull your hair.
People look like Dean Ambrose in real fights. You know what I mean? But
I'm gonna hit your shoulder blade.
But I kind of hate the way they keep portraying, like, and even like the week before, which is going back to what I'm in a roundabout way, what I was saying whenever I was listening to you guys, I was like, when Ambrose came in to like, because there was the question of his loyalty, but then he came in at the end and had his boys back.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Dude, you were outnumbered. He was fucking helping you. What are you talking about? You're picking the wrong times to get pissy, dude." Because like wins and losses matter, and you don't want to cost your buddy the match, but like they're at a certain point, like
okay, I get it.
I mean, like at a certain point, having your dudes back like supersedes the win, right?
Yes.
Like, I may cost him the match if I interject in this 3-on-1 beatdown, but maybe I should get his back anyway. You know what I mean? Like
that's my boy.
Yeah,
you're my boy, Blue.
And like the way the announce team is clumsily trying to, not the story overall, but this specific thing that they keep pointing out, but like, oh look how Reigns has to go get Ambrose. Like, no, dude, he's doing what you should do in that situation. You know, so I think they could do a better job of telling that part of the story, or at least like do it when it calls for it. Do it. Make it more apparent that he's interfering in the wrong situation, right?
Right.
When he should know better than to get in.
Rollins is going for the pin. Dean Ambrose breaks it off.
Right.
What the hell are you doing? What? I wanted to beat him.
The announce team is acting as if they're watching Jack Swagger interfere in Cesaro's match, you know?
What is he doing?
Yeah. I mean, they're like, no, he's just getting his boys back. He's not fucking Jack Swagger.
Anyway.
Maybe it's just me. Do you guys not read that into it?
I mean, it's sort of playing into like, you don't know, like they're trying to portray Dean Ambrose as this wild card. You don't know what he's gonna do.
But they always say it at the time where he's doing what he should be doing. Is what I'm saying.
But the thing is, like, you see Rollins like crawling to the corner, and all of a sudden Ambrose is like, I need to go over here, and And then Reigns is like, what the hell are you doing? And then he goes chasing after him while Rollins is like, where did you guys go?
But in his defense is when Reigns was fighting out of the enemy corner where 3 guys were beating on him in the corner, he goes around to get one of the guys off. And then Reigns should stay there for the fucking tag. Reigns is like, oh, what are you doing, dude, over there?
You gotta get back
he's
over
helping
here.
his fucking partner is getting triple teamed in the corner.
You're supposed to tag in Rollins. I thought you were supposed to tag in Rollins. Who's tagging in Rollins?
I don't know.
And Rollins is like, help me.
This is a total nitpick because it was an awesome match. And
It
was.
was. You know, if you have to find something negative, you know.
Overall, they've done like a remarkable job with the story, and I'm just nitpicking. But it just so happens every time they do it, I'm like, what do you mean? He's in the right spot.
Yeah. I still, you know, just the way that they did it at Elimination Chamber, the way they did it at Raw, I'm really siding with the people who were originally like, dude, have this match at WrestleMania, because they have done such a great job. You know, just the build, the matches that they've put together, just it works. These 6 guys have great chemistry. I'm sorry,
good.
I was gonna say I loved like the one spot where you know, Ambrose was having his head crushed in by the fist, and so he just reaches up and pulls down the beer, and he's like, you know, just, you know,
ugly like a real fight.
Yeah, it was just, you know, really good addition to it. Just
I feel like I got to put my foot in my mouth because I was the guy who was like, it doesn't mean enough yet because the Wyatts aren't as established as the Shield are. But now I'm like, now that's happening, I'm like, fuck it, it's cool, you know, whatever.
That's good. Yeah, we're good now.
And I want to further clarify that, like, it only works for Ambrose because he's the only guy who looks that reckless. Like, you don't want everybody like that way.
You don't need everyone like twitching.
What's this guy gonna do next? You don't
ring.
know what he's gonna do. He's gonna come at you like a spider monkey.
I just love whenever he does the jump and his arms are going
well,
all.
He just like jumps, like flails his body.
No, but the Wyatt family does end up defeating the Shield. Just a great matchup. Really good stuff. Another matchup you'll want to check out. And then we get sort of the cool down matchup: Santino and Emma going up against Fandango and Summer Rae.
Which the crowd unnecessarily shat upon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, you come down from a strong match like that, you know, and it's like, really, we're getting this again.
That's the point. That's a cool down match. It's like card play. It's like people who shit on stuff like that don't understand how wrestling cards are made, and why they're made the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
So matches are placed in a spot for pacing of the show to
like
bring you down from a hot match.
You had the great wrestling match. Now it's the entertainment value.
Yeah, and you can just like chill out. And you can come down from like the high of like screaming. You know what I mean? Like it plays its role. It knows its role and it plays it. Santino's a funny guy. Emma did some fine spots, and it was totally fine match that was completely unnecessarily shat upon by the crowd.
Yeah, not too bad.
So you like it?
I'd like to see more from Emma. I'd like to see her be put in a match against an actual diva. But I mean, yeah, you could say Summer Rae is, but you know, like
you want her versus one of Del Rey's girls.
Yeah,
like that whole crop of girls. You were like, oh, these girls to look forward to. That's all Sarah Del Rey's trainees since she's been there.
Who's all the Del Rey?
I just like her Paige, and Bailey, and all those chicks or whatever.
But like, I watched that Emma and Paige match from ArRIVAL, and I got worried because I'm like, damn, these girls are gonna come in and they're gonna be put up against like Alicia Fox and Oksana, and they're gonna have to like lose to these girls. And
Alicia Fox isn't that bad. She just used real shittily.
Well, okay.
Oksana's fucking bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. But you know, the current women's division is so lacking.
Well, hey, is Layla still with the company?
Kind of, but she's not there. I don't know. Like, you don't even see her backstage in segments or anything. So, I mean, you got the Bella Twins. AJ, who's not doing anything. Tamina, who's not doing anything.
Well, they didn't use AJ
Natty,
because she's dating Punk, and they didn't want a fucking situation on their hands.
Yeah,
because you can't trust those assholes in the crowd, and you know it.
I mean, it's just, and they're not even doing storylines.
Like supposedly they were on like crowd control heavy for like signs and whatever. Did you see the AJ sign?
AJ once like
AJ loves Dixon cider. Like, Dixon cider. It was right on the fucking hard camera side the whole time. They didn't ever fucking touch it.
They probably didn't even get it. They're like, "What's cider? I haven't even heard of that company."
No, I didn't see that.
It was.
I saw it, and I was like,
"What?" It was in the right corner opposite hard cam. It was there like the whole fucking night.
I
It
gotta
was
watch
great.
it when they put that on the network.
Dixon cider.
Dixon's.
Bravo to that person, by the way. So,
I think it's awful.
Peanut
it's
butt.
awful.
Shame
but
on
it's,
you.
It's awful, but it made it on, and they kept it there for a while.
Well,
That's
just like
pretty
the other one, peanut butt.
Peanut butt, that's right. So, good stuff. So, Santino and Emma end up defeating Fandango and Summer Rae. That takes us into the next matchup. Another matchup, like
Where the crowd
like,
just booed the fuck out of him.
yeah, Sheamus going up against Christian.
It was clunky, but they were working hard. You could tell
Yeah.
they were working hard.
Like, what'd they ever do? They do nothing to make.
I get that, like, you see this match and you're like, okay, I can't emotionally invest because of the lack of stakes that are obviously associated with this match.
Right.
Both these guys clearly have no direction, but you know that both these guys are like, I get it. Sheamus is a fucking terrible babyface. It's an awful gimmick, but he's really good inside the ring, and so is Christian, and you could tell they were working hard.
Yeah.
So, like, why shit on these guys? I don't know.
Not to mention Sheamus had like bruises all over his body.
That dude bruises like
I really felt like the last time he's been versing Christian. Like, I know he's a smaller guy, Christian, but like when he gets on the ropes and he beats the fuck, I felt like he really
lays
beat
in.
the fuck out of Christian.
Yeah. So, it wasn't a bad match by any means.
it wasn't good, and I'm not saying you needed to kiss their ass, but they were obviously working hard, and I don't know why you needed to shit on it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Sheamus ends up defeating Christian, and later on in the show, Christian attacks Sheamus backstage. So it looks like we're not done with this feud yet. So you best get used to it. Yeah. So that takes us into a tag match. Oksana and Alicia Fox going up against the Bella Twins. Oksana from WWE. I don't know. Whatever. Antonio Cesaro.
What are they going to do now that they have like the other super fake accent chick with Alexander Rusev?
They can make them a tag team. I don't know.
Rusev. That's all you have to do. Just yell that.
Do your Russian impression, Daniel.
No, I'm not going to do it. Bella's end up getting the victory. Nothing. Yeah, just stab me in the hand. Next up, we got to see Daniel Bryan come out and basically saying, this is why I love this crowd, because you have a voice and you like to voice your opinions. Triple H is being a coward. That brings out Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. They cut a really great heel promo. They pushed through that crowd.
They like basked in the hatred.
Stephanie definitely
they were
did.
like, they were just so happy about how fucking hated they were, and that was pretty awesome, right?
You could see the smile on Stephanie's face, and she's like, I am so glad that they're doing this.
It's that fucking McMahon blood.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't give a damn what you think. So, just really good stuff from
They
these
thought
guys.
they were like, fuck you, and they were like, we love this.
They were like,
Yeah.
the fans are saying "fuck you." They are thinking,
Bring
"Thank
it
you,
on."
thank you." So,
Thank you. Bring it on.
just really, really good stuff. This was like the first definitive showing from Triple H that he is he is the full blown heel, where he's just like, "Listen, bud,
You're B+ player.
B+ is a great place to be, but you're just not, you're not going to do it. I'm sorry. The match isn't going to happen." I love the exchange where Dana Bryan was like, "Hey, maybe Stephanie can put on your trunks. So you can wear her skirt, and she and I can have a match at WrestleMania." and then
90% sure she would be.
she'd whip your ass. Like just that stuff. Just really good.
Yeah.
Like I said, pushing through the crowd. There's no way I would have been able to keep focus on what I was even saying.
I can't keep focused on what I'm saying half the time we're in here. I mean, and it shows.
Just a matter of boo, boo,
Wow.
CM Punk.
Just
CM
earlier
Punk.
when Homeboy was at the window and you guys were looking at him, I was like conscious that he was there. I was like, I kept like, should I stop?
Still looking.
He's not going away.
I'm gonna film him.
What am I saying? Because I know there's a guy over there. Am I still talking? Should I shut up?
So what did you think about this segment?
I mean, you got to give them their props.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like
definitely.
that was. I mean,
I
not
thought
many
that was
people can
great.
handle it.
I thought that was great. It's like you're not gonna bother us. So like,
We give Triple H our fair share of shit, but you got to give credit where it's due. I mean,
Yeah. We're not afraid to say, look, man, he did a good job. So we give good, we give bad. That's how it works. So just really good stuff. I would still like to see Daniel Bryan find a way into the main event at WrestleMania. Maybe that could be something pertaining to Hulk Hogan's big announcement next week.
brother.
I don't think that.
Yeah.
But what I'm.
Well, you know something.
Well, I think the way they ended Raw, they left it in a weird way where they could go anywhere they wanted to.
Yes.
They could continue with the Triple H stuff if that's the plan they want to follow through on, and they had all three guys out there to where they sort of like teased where it would make sense to go triple threat if they were going to do that. So.
Yep. What it do? So next up we got to see Dolph Ziggler coming out with the actor. I forget his name.
Aaron Paul.
Yeah, him. Going up against Alberto Del Rio. Pretty short matchup. Ziggler gets the win. Guest host. Happy to be there.
Yeah, Ziggler gets the win because he's with the guest host.
Yes. But I
Nothing
mean,
for those guys.
anything else to really take away from the matchup?
It was fucking awful. This was awful. This was so bad. Look. Jesse Pinkman's awesome. Yeah, I agree. Breaking Bad is probably one of the best shows ever. And but this was not Breaking Bad. This was some fucking
Breaking
shitty
Raw.
car movie. And this was
Need
so
for
bad.
Speed.
Yeah, like you could tell, it's a great show and he's great in that show, but you could tell this guy didn't fucking get it. He didn't know what the fuck was up. It was like it was just bad, man. It was bad. And I guess they tried to protect him by putting him with Ziggler because they didn't think the crowd would turn on him if they put him with Ziggler.
Yeah.
But how bad was Del Rio falls for the old guy is gonna stand up on the fucking
Hey, you sit down. Whoa.
Yeah, this was bad, man. Bad.
Bad.
Whoa. You trying to talk to me? Okay. What?
Well, if you're standing on a table, you clearly want my attention, so I'm going to come over here and say, hey, you need to sit down, sir. That's a safety hazard. You don't want to get hurt, especially if you have to drive back out of the arena. Which, that whole segment backstage with all the divas watching the
I heard he
clip,
might even drive off Ziggler.
that was so unbearably painful to watch. I like cars that go fast. What do you mean by that, Oksana? I like it when they go fast. Sure you do. What does that mean?
I don't know, but that's a good
Sure you
that's a
do.
good Nikki right there.
Wait, should I do like Nikki or
All right.
Bree?
You were doing Nikki.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't remember which one was who. So, like, Nikki.
I thought you knew because you were doing her perfectly.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. So, which, by the way, aren't you guys uber excited? We're like 2 weeks away. Total Divas Season 2.
What to do?
There you go.
Ain't nothing but a G thing,
I'm-
baby.
Yeah,
Air
y-
five.
y'all can do
Air
the
five me.
Air five.
Oh,
So, yeah, next matchup we got to see
that
Big
air
E.
made you touch my balls.
Next matchup, Big E going up against Jack Swagger. This matchup was short. I mean, it barely even got started, and Cesaro decided to attack Big E, delivering the neutralizer. And Swagger's like, "What the hell are you doing in my match? I had him.
Was I the only one who was like, before they said what was happening, they just cut to them in the ring? I was like, didn't Big E already wrestle tonight? I was like,
either this is a time filler or they're trying to progress this story quick.
Yeah, and it was just as stupid this time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it made more sense this time because Cesaro was just like, "Oh yeah, fuck you, buddy.
Well,
I'm gonna."
now
do this."
we're even.
Right.
You did 1-on-1, even though you've done it twice. So.
2 wrongs don't make a right, Cesaro. It
Yeah.
was stupid he did it the first time.
And then
Well,
Swagger.
man, they fucking lost their shit when they thought he was gonna.
Yes.
Swing.
Yeah, Swagger pushes Cesaro, and Cesaro's like, "Hey, man, don't do that anymore, or it's going down."
It's going down.
Swagger pushes him again, and he knocks him down and gets him ready for the Cesaro swing. And Zeb's like, "Hey, that's your brother. Don't do that to your brother. Your brother's brother.
I thought Zeb was pretty good in this.
Yeah, I mean, he did fine. I'm just, childishly acting like that. So don't point at me.
I like how he was like, "You guys hug."
Hug it out right
Zeb
now.
was adamant about these guys hugging.
Hug it out.
That's right.
And it was the most insincere hug ever. They were like patting each other on the back like that hard.
Love you, man. So, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well, we know that Swagger doesn't like
Take that
hugs.
chop.
You're
We know
doing like Sheamus style, beating yourself over there.
We don't know. We know Swagger doesn't like hugs. Remember that time where Cesaro tried to hug him, he pushed him
Get
away.
off of me, man. What are you doing?
Swagger's not secure in his sexuality. He cannot hug another man.
And I liked whenever Zeb did the put your hand over your heart and say along with us, and Cesaro and Swagger just staring each other down as they're saying it. We, the people, just really good stuff. So it's inevitably going to happen. But, we'll have to see. Next up, we got to see John Cena hobble out to the ring, cut a promo basically talking about how much he loves the Allstate Arena in Chicago. It's where he started. It's where he is now. He's had some great matches. He's had some not so great matches. That's what the crowd did. Yeah, trying to get the crowd, back into it.
Guess how the crowd reacted.
I'm a little
cheered.
bit hurt. Yay! Oh, I guess y'all like that. Yay! Well, I'm still gonna keep fighting. Boo!
Why would they shit on Cena here? Because it was a totally fine promo. And let me tell you one fucking thing.
It's because they don't like Cena. That's as simple as that.
Here's the thing, though. Cena's not in the fucking main event.
Yeah. He didn't even wrestle that night.
Let me tell you another fucking thing. In WrestleMania 30, Cena's matches no better than fourth from the top of the card.
Yeah.
He's working with we were just last show I was on, which was 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about how it'd be great. Cena's great, and I appreciate him more than some, and but maybe he should work with some younger guys. That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
They did cheer a little bit, but they did a cheap pop because he did say he respect Chicago.
Yeah.
And they cheered.
Hey, he's at our town.
Yay, but
Well, they're marks for themselves.
yeah.
And they shit on stuff unnecessarily. I'm just saying, what's the point? Taker Brock is obviously ahead and has gotten more focus.
Yeah.
The title is obviously ahead and has got more focus. Brian Triple H is ahead and has got more focus. And I would even argue that the Wyatt's Shield has gotten more focus than Cena. So there's 5 more focused on stories than. What's the need to shit on Cena here other than to be a smarky head up your own ass asshole?
They want to be a smarky up their head.
No, we want
up their
CM
ass
Punk.
asshole.
CM Punk.
So, anyways, Wyatt's family decided to cut a promo on that, saying, you're like a horse who used to race all the time and you came in first place, but now you're just looking for a place to continue racing.
I thought it made more sense than normal.
Yeah. I was able to follow it a little bit. Now
Yeah.
I just can't.
get it.
I
He's
can't
a
recreate it in my
thoroughbred.
head.
He's out. You're gonna put him out to pasture because he's not.
You're gonna die.
But although I thought they breed those horses when they get old instead of killing them, right? Because that's how they get the new studs.
Yeah. We're gonna breed you, John Cena.
That would have been cool. That would have been weird if he would have taken it there. He was like,
We're gonna take
"It's
your
over.
seed.
It's over, Cena. We're gonna breed you. We're gonna take you out to the pasture and breed you."
You're gonna get fucked.
Oh my god. Anyway, so
Touch your penis, John Cena.
with 5 minutes before the top of the hour, we get Daniel Bryan going up against Batista.
Yes.
I saw that. Very cute.
That is very, very cute.
5 minutes before the top of the hour, Bryan versus Batista.
Let's put a little buffer in between me and Daniel saying that something was cute after talking about John Cena getting molested. Let's clarify that we're not talking about that. Tyler put a picture on it, showed us a picture on his phone that we said was cute.
Boy.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah.
Not John Cena getting bread.
Get it up.
bread.
Yes. So yeah, cute stuff. The picture, not
The picture.
not Cena getting.
It's
breeded.
my little niece with the Daniel Bryan beard,
Yes.
pointing her fingers up in the air. So,
Yes. So, anyways, Bryan versus Batista, short matchup. It ended with disqualification. Randy Orton getting involved. Triple H and Kane getting involved. Everyone ganging up on Daniel Bryan, and like Doug said, this sets it up to go wherever they want. I feel like putting Daniel Bryan in the main event would make the most sense now since Batista turned heel on SmackDown. So you got two heels facing each other, and you add
Very weird if you don't add him.
And you add Daniel Bryan. Yeah, it will not work. Just
What cracked me up at the end, I told Daniel about this after he got Batista bombed, and then he was laying on the ground. Triple H goes up to him about to say something. He kicks him in the head.
yeah,
Oh my god, I cracked up when he did that.
it's really good stuff.
Oh yeah.
He just kicks him in the head.
Really getting tired of you, Bryan. Oh. And then Cole's like, defiant to the end. I'm like, this isn't the end, but it's the end of the show.
Fancy shit.
Yeah. And then, that's how they close out the show. However,
did you watch the post show?
they did. I did. Yes, they have that post show that's going on. And this is kind of where I have like an issue with the post show because
They're gonna show the post matches and stuff.
you see Big Show come out, you see Cena come out, and they're not really. I mean, they're focusing a little bit on it. They're showing a little bit.
So
what's
the
going
dark
on.
main event's happening in the background.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Like stuff's happening in the background, and they'll either like they showed Big Show, like they put the camera solely on him as he's coming out and Cena coming out.
They showed a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And they went back to talking.
Then they went back to the panel, and you can see it happening in the background. And, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of takes it away from me. Like, I would have preferred, like, if they had the panel 180'd, where you can't see what's happening in the ring.
I don't know if one thing that kind of was like, what? I don't know if they said SmackDown or the next Raw. They're like, oh, Big Show returns.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
Big Show returns next
It's like-
SmackDown. You see, he's right there.
He's right. He just returned. He's right there. I
He's
see
right
him.
behind you.
Yeah. He's like 50 feet away.
He's standing behind them. He's like he's like hovering over them.
So,
I gotta
Like, I can
piss.
see-
I've been holding forever. I gotta piss.
okay.
I can see Daniel Bryan high-fiving Big Show and John Cena in the back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that kind of takes it away.
Just like at the pre-show, they had Superstars going on.
Superstars. Yes.
Yeah, they had a match going on.
Yeah, they did. It was
So
weird.
that's what's going to happen. So I guess, I wonder. Okay, let me ask you a question. So Raw, they have Superstars before Raw.
They have like one or two matches for Superstars.
Okay.
And then the other happens on SmackDown. Because you have to think Raw is 3 hours,
Yeah.
SmackDown's only 2.
Yeah.
So that gives you an hour to do main event and
I was going to say if they had
Superstars.
any dark matches.
Mm-hmm.
But now the post stuff's going to happen now, so
Yep.
it's going to be on there. I don't know if they're going to focus on it. You can see in the background, but they did focus a little bit when Big Show came out and all that stuff. They all turned around and like, oh, they showed this
Wait a
shit?
minute, dog.
Well, that was the only thing that got me. Like, oh, Big Show makes his return. I was like, okay, officially he's not on the air, but I mean, technically you're on the network,
Yeah.
so he's
Like you're watching
technically
it,
there.
you see it happening.
He did return there, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's whatever.
No, it's not whatever. It's just, it's silly. Like, if you're gonna do something like that, have them like in one of the VIP suites above the ring or something. Have them somewhere where we can't see what's happening.
Bathroom.
No, that would be terrible.
We're here from
Just
the
imagine-
from the urinal.
I'm just imagining like Josh Matthews, Booker T, Alex Riley, and then someone like flushes and walks out of a stall or something like that.
Okay, there's one thing I want to say, and like I don't.
What
I don't know
about
if you-
stalls?
He's suggesting that they need to have the post-show and pre-show in the bathroom. And I say I can imagine like Josh Matthews, Booker T, Alex Riley, all in a bathroom, and then you hear a whoosh, and like out walks like Jey Uso and like going to wash his hands. Excuse me, guys, just gotta
I
do
have to
like-
say I enjoy Alex Riley on the pre and post show and stuff. Even on NXT, I like his
Shut
commentary.
the fuck.
No, okay, I like it.
I was about
like
to say
it.
that's nice.
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
don't think he's that bad.
That's cool. I can't get into it. I don't know why.
Yeah, because even the pre and post shows can go haywire.
I mean, I know no one really got behind him when he was. I don't know if he still wrestles or not, but I hope the best that he can, move on up, in I guess with commentary and all that stuff.
So yeah, so really cool stuff. So that's how they close out Raw. Now it's something kind of special.
You're listening to a special interview segment for the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Okay, folks, joining us on the show this week, he will be appearing at WrestleCon in New Orleans, WrestleMania weekend, courtesy of Clutch City Productions. He's going to be joining Scott Hall, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and many more. It's the one and only Scott Norton. Mr. Norton, welcome to the show.
Well, Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Oh, we certainly appreciate you coming on. Like we said, you will be attending at WrestleCon New Orleans WrestleMania weekend. You getting pumped up for that? You getting excited?
Yes, I am. The best thing about it is I get to see some friends I haven't seen for a long time, and Bobby Heenan, Neidhart, and it's going to be great to see everybody.
Very cool. And yeah, you were part of the big Clutch City Productions Super Show that they had last year. Got to meet all the guys over there and had a lot of fun. How does it feel going to these conventions and getting to meet fans of past years?
Well, that's awesome. You know, it's always good to get back and get connected with the fans again and get back into it. Your blood starts flowing. It brings back a lot of great memories, and it's just, just gets everything flying. Gets you thinking a little bit.
Very cool. You started your career as a professional arm wrestler, then transitioned into wrestling. How did that come about?
Well, I won the world tournament, and with Over the Top, I was traveling worldwide. When I was in Japan, I was approached, and I talked with a couple friends of mine. Hawk basically was the one guy that I talked to, confided in mostly, and he told me that it was a serious offer, and I went from there.
Very cool stuff. And you actually got to travel to Japan and wrestle in front of the crowds over there. Then you went over to WCW, where most of the fans of today would probably know you from. But you're very well known over in Japan. What are the differences between working in the States and working in Japan?
Well, it's in Japan, it's more what you do in the ring. There's not as much interviews, not much in front of the camera. It's more of your performance. Here in the States, it's more, they're going to more interviews, more managers, more angles. In Japan, it's more of a sport to the people. And as far as, the wrestling style, the style is quite a bit more physical. It's a harder, tougher style over there than it is here, and that's something that fit me to a T.
Very cool. You wrestled in WCW. You were part of the NWO. So many stories come out of WCW featuring backstage politics and this and that. Did you ever encounter any of that? What were some of your experiences backstage at WCW?
You ever been to Monday Nitro? I mean, for crying out loud, it's every week. Yeah, that's just the business. I mean, you got NWO is a collection of the biggest egos in professional wrestling. I mean, of course, there's going to be some politics going on. I mean, it's just part of the business. It's a little, the politics of professional wrestling in the States is so much different than it is in Japan, where there really aren't any. In the States, you're going to run into a lot of that. And I could tell you story after story after story, but I mean, what happens there kind of stays there.
I'm not sure if you keep up with the current product at all, but I was listening a few years ago. I was listening to an interview that Colt Cabana conducted with the then Bryan Danielson, the now Daniel Bryan, and he spoke like super highly of you as like a great guy and as someone who was like very helpful when during his tours to Japan, where just being a guy who knew exactly what to do, exactly how to convey to him what he needed to do to do well there. And I just wondered if you remember teaming with him at that time, and did you see one of the biggest present day stars in him at that time, or not so much?
Well, to be honest with you, as far as helping guys along, I started business when I was 30 years old, and which is awfully late. And I was helped by a ton of guys. A lot of people went out of their way to help me. And I always said to myself, and I always wanted to pay it forward. And, he is an amazing professional wrestler, a great young kid. And when he came in, you just couldn't help but want to help him. And the only thing you teach them where to go, how to go about your business, how to get comfortable in the locker room, who to deal with, who not, slowly get into it. And then, as far as seeing how good he was, it was amazing. I wrestled a tag match, he and I against Lager and Nagata in Japan, and we just absolutely blew it up. I mean, it was one of the best matches I've ever been in my career, and mostly because of him. I mean, he is just an amazing talent, a good young guy, and a big fan of his. I'm really proud of him.
Do you keep up with the current product? Do you watch and follow TNA, WWE, Ring of Honor, any of the promotions like that?
Well, I watch a little bit of WWE. I kind of keep online. I follow what's going on in Japan pretty good, but it's something I've gotten away from it for a while, and I've been working on a couple projects of my own and whatnot. And now I'm starting to get back around doing some autograph deals with the NWO guys, and we're starting to get back out there a little bit. And I got some things, I got a book that we're just close to finishing up, and I'm starting to pay more attention to it. But after 20-some years rolling, you kind of take a step away for a second, and I did that, and it's now that I'm back, thinking about it, talking about it, really working on this book, and then being around the guys and everything, just back inside me. I mean, it's something that I love and I miss. Once you step away from it, you realize how much you miss it, and I never liked watching myself on TV. I never was a guy that would go and wrestle Monday Night Show and then have to run down from the hotel and get downstairs to watch the replay. You know what I'm saying? It's just something. I was in it. I was there. It was enough for me. So but I do watch. I want to watch my friends, and I want to see some of the guys. And Daniel's one of the guys I do watch, and it is half and half.
Very nice. You did mention your book that's in progress of getting published. What are some of the details that fans have to look forward to? Where does the journey begin and end for the story?
Well, it starts out when I was just a young kid with my dad doing concrete work, and it goes all the way up to my teen years and some of the crazy things I did before I got into professional wrestling, and of course some of the great experiences I had with friends and in the business, and traveling around the world. North Korea, there's a hell of a chapter there. And then, my relationships with some of the friends I got are just absolutely amazing. And it's a chance for me to acknowledge these people and, to really express my feelings, how much they meant to me and how great they were to me. The opportunity I had in Japan was, people really stuck their neck out for me. They gave me every chance, every opportunity a guy could have possibly want to make it. You know what I mean? And Hawk always told me, he says, they open the door, but you walk through it, and that's true. But I mean, I had some people that it's just when the book comes out and people get to understand, and from my perspective, what went on and what it takes to get in another country. As far as in Japan, I was considered a Japanese wrestler being an American. That's very difficult to do. There's only a few guys that ever been able to really get to that level, and then but you just don't always do it on your own. So that's one part of the book that I'm super excited about. And then there's a lot to do with my arm wrestling, and it's a pretty darn good read. At first, I was really pretty nervous about doing it, but now I'm pretty excited. I mean, I'm very proud of this book.
With the launch of the WWE Network, fans can go back and see some of your matches in WCW. Is there any favorites that stick out in your mind?
Well, the one I get the most kickback on is the one with Ernest Miller, the Cat. I mean, that's kind of a funny deal. We're in my hometown, and you got the biggest mouth in the business out there running you down. They got about 500 buddies out there ringside. And I don't think he really realized what was coming. And, I mean, sometimes, there's got to be a victim, and he was it.
That's how the NWO ran.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just, that was a greatest time to be in professional wrestling. I mean, being part of the NWO.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody understands how big that was. I mean, Hall and Nash, I mean, it was amazing to be around it and be part of it, and we took that to Japan too. I mean, Japan was, NWO was as big there as it was here. Nobody really realizes that, and that's another part of my book, as far as us taking it there, and NWO was really much bigger than people really realize, I think.
You've gotten to wrestle all over the world. You've wrestled, very, many different opponents. Was there anyone that, when they gave you their name, you thought, oh God, not this, this is just going to be terrible? Or was there anyone that you just absolutely loved working with? And was there anyone that you didn't get a chance to work with that you would have liked to?
Oh, well, the last question is one that I could really, there's a ton of guys I'd love to have a chance to work with that, that I did. I've always said that's one thing about my career is, not going into the WWE, to have an opportunity to, do a program with Bret Hart and back that up with Steve Austin or, go to a guy like The Rock or Jericho. I mean, just to be able to work a program with these guys and work them, in a month's time, I mean, it just elevates you to the max, and there's plenty of guys I'd love to work with that I didn't get an opportunity to work with. But, as far as people that I didn't like to work with, I mean, sure. I mean, there's guys that just don't fit your style, that just sometimes just doesn't, it doesn't mix. But as far as, I mean, I never worried about anybody I got in it with. I was always pretty confident that was going to be fine.
And WWE recently did a, Where Are They Now article on you. You got to check in on you for some of the fans who hadn't heard or seen of you in a while. How was the feeling of doing that? And on a side note, I don't know if Gilbert from Clutch City told you, but the picture, one of the pictures that was in there had me in there, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was wild at the sushi joint. Yeah, that was okay. You were there. You seen how much fun we had that hour sitting there having dinner at that sushi joint.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, that's what it was like that for 6 years. It was just the greatest time, and I mean, and I that picture comes up, and I go, I can't remember his name, and also here we are. And that's not a bad thing, because I can look at somebody I've known for 10 years, and I can't.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was talking to Gil about that, and he told me, and I said, holy smokes! I said, that's a small world, but and that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna I'm gonna try and print that picture out and get you to sign it at WrestleCon.
Oh, absolutely. We'll get all the guys sign it, and that's just good time after good time after good time.
Absolutely, very cool stuff. When traveling the road, you develop your road wives, so to speak. Just the people that they're your core travel buddies. Who's in the car with Scott Norton as you're traveling from town to town in WCW?
Oh, in WCW, kind of weird, but it was me, Bagwell, a lot, Lex Luger, Sting, quite a bit. I traveled with Brian Adams a lot. I did some road work on the road with Barbarian quite a bit. Let's see. When Rude came in, me and Rude were buds. I mean, we started hooking up. But I did. I was fortunate because I got to do the buff. I mean, it was a sweet deal. I mean, going, private plane from Atlanta to wherever you wrestled, and you're back home that night, and that was a pretty nice little perk.
Very cool. So it's just it's really cool to get a chance to catch up with you. Like I said, you're going to be appearing at WrestleCon New Orleans WrestleMania weekend, courtesy of Clutch City Productions. You're going to be joining Scott Hall, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. To purchase your advance tickets, hop in front of the lines, get your pictures and autographs. Go to ClutchCityProductions.com. Mr. Norton, we certainly do appreciate it. You have a great night, and we certainly do appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Mr. Norton.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, bye.
So really cool. Get to talk to Scott Norton. We certainly appreciate him coming on the show. Really cool stuff. If you get the chance, go out to WrestleCon if you're going to WrestleMania and check out the boys that Clutch City Productions is going to be bringing in. And like we said, go to ClutchCityProductions.com. Get your tickets now. Really cool stuff. It's time to go into the hot topics. We don't really have anything.
Hot pockets.
Topics.
Hot topics.
So
Pockets.
no.
Pockets of
It's
topics.
hot topics.
Pocket of topics.
Yes. Okay. We'll do that. So nothing really like news related, but some pretty cool stuff that we have to announce. We have teamed up. If you haven't seen on our Facebook page, we have teamed up with Top Rope Tuesday. So really cool stuff. They offer really cool shirts. They do one shirt a week, for a low price. Really cool stuff. You can go and check them out.
Daniel has the shirts. I have the shirts. We aren't just even shilling like some random people we haven't bought from ourselves.
That's right.
So there you go.
Based from experience. I'm very pleased with the shirt that I got. So go to topropetuesday.com and get a t-shirt from them or something like that. Really cool stuff. They offer lots of t-shirts you can purchase. What are you doing, Tyler? This isn't a video episode. We don't need those facial expressions. No one can see it. But we are having some contests over the next few weeks. We're going to be, doing a, sort of a yes or no poll for Raw, so that way, people can enter that way, and it'll also kind of narrow it down as to, how many people can be entered. But we're also going to be doing one during the podcast. So we're going to have like a keyword or a key phrase. We might mix it up. We don't know what we're going to be doing. But this week we decided to do a keyword, key phrase. So this week you have to go to our Facebook page and comment the key phrase.
In the show post.
In the show post. And you will be entered to win a free shirt from Top Rope Tuesday. And we have to clarify, if you win, we're going to need your full address and your shirt size. We'll try and either message you, or you can send us a private message on our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, and get the information from you that way.
And we'll forward that to them, and they're going to send you a shirt.
Absolutely.
But we're going to be very specific so that nobody gets their feelings hurt when they don't do the right thing.
Yeah.
You have to come to our Facebook page.
Yes.
Not the main sites.
Right.
Not
WNS
Wrestling News
Podcast.
WNS Podcast Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
It's facebook.com/WNS Podcast. You have to go to this show's post on our Facebook page.
That's right.
And comment in that. And if you don't do that, if you do it somewhere else, it's your own fault. You didn't follow instructions.
Right.
And you should also go like Top Rope Tuesday, because they're the guys partnering with us. They're the guys putting up the free shirts. And so, support
Make sure
both
you
of us.
like their page as well. Tell them, hey, thanks for teaming up with us, because we certainly appreciate it.
Right.
And it looked good on our part if some of you guys go there and show your support for them as well. Not saying that you have to buy a shirt, but hey, go and like their page and say, hey, WNS Podcast sent me. So
if you like the shirts, buy the shirt.
Yeah, definitely. So this week, like we said, comment the key phrase on our Facebook page in the show comment thread. And Doug got to pick the phrase for this week. And the phrase is...
Tyler is an asshole.
So there you go.
Motherfuckers.
So one more time, just for the fans who want to be registered to win a free shirt from topropetuesday.com, the key phrase is...
Tyler is an asshole.
So there you go. So
Tyler, how are they tell them exactly where and how they're going to put Tyler as an asshole so that they're not confused one more time. Explain to them how they can be entered to win this shirt. Well, not entered, it's the first person, right?
No, we'll do enter. And,
okay.
And we'll randomize it.
Okay.
And then
announce
it.
So
put on our
how are they
Facebook.
going to enter? How are they going to enter the keyword so that they can enter in this contest to get a free t-shirt?
And when should we do the cutoff? Should we do Tuesday? Like Tuesday night?
Tuesday to Tuesday.
Yeah. If you're listening now, you have until Tuesday the 11th, I believe, at 6 p.m. Central. Do that, something like that.
Word up.
All right, sounds good.
So
see what motherfuckers.
So Tyler, take it away. What did the people have to do? Log into Facebook. Go from there.
Go to WNS Podcast page and put in Tyler is an asshole.
Where at?
But where?
on our podcast page.
No, on the
Where on the podcast?
on
page?
the show, the post of the show.
Show thread.
Okay.
Yeah, show thread. There you
And
go.
what do they have to? They have to type.
Now, what did they have to type again so that no one's
I'm sorry, my
confused?
memory is not what it used to be.
I don't know if you know that Tyler guy, but type in Tyler is an asshole.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Don't worry, Tyler. Next week is yours.
Yeah.
So once again, thank you to the fine folks over at Top Rope Tuesday. We certainly appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys.
Hey, yo, Daniel, I'm
Yo.
gonna let you finish,
Okay.
but I just want to let you know that Tyler is an asshole.
Which is the key phrase for this week's Top Rope Tuesday free T-shirt giveaway. So there you go. Other bit of hot topic news. Booker T's
Motherfuckers.
Reality of Wrestling taking place this weekend. If you happen to be in the Houston area, head on down to 16511 Diana Lane, Clear Lake Sports and Recreation Center. Amazing Kong going to be the special guest this week. So really cool stuff. Go and check her out. If you happen to be in the area, go to the show. Let the people, the fine folks over at Booker T's Reality Wrestling know that the WNS podcast sent you as well. Really cool stuff. And we're actually trying to, look into maybe getting some sort of sponsorship, stuff like that. Who knows? From, I don't know, maybe like Netflix or something like that. Who knows? Well, we're working on stuff like that. But really cool stuff in the future to look forward to.
You could probably get Audible.com. They sponsor everything.
Oh, they do, don't they? We need to try
They
that.
sponsor like every podcast.
Yes. So we can look into something like that. So really cool. And if you guys happen to have a small business or something and you're wanting to shell out some cash, and we'll do a shameless plug for you, by all means, go ahead. Time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First and only question coming to us from Thomas. Drop it low, son.
Drop it low, son. Drop it low, son.
Saying,
Is an asshole. Tyler is an asshole.
saying, so I'm back home after a great week on vacation /holiday /whatever in Blackpool. Even
Is
if
that where Regal's from?
I think so.
Or he's at least billed from there, right?
Somewhere like that. Even if the weather was less than great, to say the least, I've been thinking, if you could go on a week's trip to any place in the world, where would you go, why, and what would you do whilst there? New
for me-
Orleans for WrestleMania?
For me, it would be Japan, just because I think Japanese culture would cater to my obsessive nature. Because you always hear about in Japan they have those cool themed bars and restaurants
Yeah.
and stuff where it's I don't know, the video game or the anime or the manga themed places where you go into the restaurant and it's all whatever. Plus tons of good wrestling. I don't know. I think I would love to visit Japan, but I am terrified of flying, and I would never be on a plane for that long.
You can go on a boat.
Yeah, it take forever.
Very long, very long. But
Japan would be awesome, though.
I would like to go to Japan, but I'm a very picky eater, so I don't know what I would be able to eat there, just because I am so very picky. I'd like to go to the UK and check out some of the stuff that's there as well. I don't know. If I had to book a flight right now, I'd probably go somewhere in the UK. How about you, Tyler?
I want to go Germany.
Germany.
I took a German class or 2 German classes in high school, and from what I saw in the books and learned, because also our teacher was from Germany, it just sounded interesting. So
Very cool. Yeah. So there you go. So thank you for the question. Make sure to submit your questions on our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, also our YouTube page, WNS Video. You can check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook, and you can subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
hey, Daniel,
Hey,
we're on Player.fm,
cool.
Stitcher,
Yeah?
and Beyond Pod,
Awesome.
and you can search Wrestling News Source Podcast, and you can find us.
There you go.
Very cool. Don't forget to enter our contest.
Top Rope
With
Tuesday.
the keyword Tyler is an asshole. We are on Twitter, the main
Definitely.
site's at WN Source. We are at WNS Podcast. Daniel is at WNS _Daniel. Tyler is at Tyler _Abear. Go tweet at him. Make him tweet more. Tell him he's an asshole on Twitter. Yeah.
There you go. So thank you all for listening. We certainly do appreciate it. Thank you to Scott Norton, Thank you to Clutch City Productions for hooking us up with the interview for that one.
If Scott Norton listened all the way through the end of the show here, and Scott Norton will tweet at Tyler_Aber and tweet Tyler as an asshole, I will mark the fuck out for that.
Day made. So,
Please, Mr. Norton.
So there you go. For the podcast crew, I am Dano Heron.
Motherfuckers. I'm Tyler Aber.
He's fucking Tyler Aber.
An asshole.
I'm Doug.
And we will catch you all next week.